Yo,
Good afternoon. Good evening it'll be for you, won't it?
good morning.
Oh, it's just coming into 12 o'clock, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, stayed up too late, very late. So I just woke up not too long ago.
That's early, 12 o'clock. You should be staying up till 3 a.m. grinding away.
Um, I mean, sleeping at 8 a.m. is no longer. It's no longer that rare, you know.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, Brick.
Morning. Morning, evening, afternoon, all of the above. It's it's about 10 p.m. here, where I'm at in the United States.
Yeah, it's 3 p.m. on the east coast of Australia, 4 p.m. depending on which state you're in, but it's a good time. It's not a bad time slot. 10 p.m. is good, not too bad for you. Midnight's a bit harder for DD. So where would you be, DD, then?
Where am I? I'm still in Singapore. I mean, I'm not. I'm not following the normal sleep times of a Singaporean, but I'm in Singapore.
Yeah, but Singapore is GMT +8, yeah?
Yep, it's like
Yeah.
1 p.m. right now.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought, yeah. Same as Perth.
Beautiful. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I was going to give it a couple of minutes. Well, I've just sent out another at everyone. We'll give it a couple of minutes, let some people queue up. But yeah, really good. I think I showed you some photos of what I've set up at home. I'm pretty fucking excited to be at home. I've never had 5 monitors before in my life, and it's finally set up to go.
Wow, 5. That's breaking new ground. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, because I've had like 2 lots of 2 monitors for quite a while, and I run 2 laptops. So when I fly out to a mine site, I take both laptops with me. It just makes it easy. Obviously, you can't pack a big monitor in your carry-on bag, but at home, I've now got these 4 monitors, and I'm like, how do I make it work?
Yes, for sure. I've been on a 2-monitor setup for the longest time. At one point in my life had 3, but never leveled up to 5.
5 seems.
It's not excessive. You wouldn't think it's excessive. I can look. I'll take a screen grab now.
Mm-hmm.
No, honestly, I find myself needing 3 all the time. And I'm sure once I had 3, I would feel like I could use more. So I bet it makes sense.
I don't know. I've never had more than 2.
To be able to like have one on its side and then be able to read a Discord chat while you're on stage, that's just amazing. I've never had it before.
For me, like doing any kind of spreadsheet work, often you'll have like source data, like whatever it is, like a website or something like that, and then you have the spreadsheet. So that's 2 monitors right there. And then if you want to have a chat app open, someone's pinging you in a chat app, you need that 3rd monitor. And then
my god,
it grows from there. You're trying to watch not just your K-drama, but also a YouTube video. That's 2 more monitors.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it does become very easy. And when a monitor's $200-300, you build them up and forget about them.
Yeah. One thing that's funny, I'm from NYC. There's a big culture in NYC of like, if you have something that you don't need anymore, people will just leave it on their front steps. And so for me, like growing up, my parents would always say, no, you guys don't need a TV in your room. But in our neighborhood, you just spend long enough walking around the neighborhood and someone puts a TV out there and you grab it. So things like monitors, you'll just accumulate over time living in New York City.
Yeah, the Verge scabs, we get those in Australia, so they do like a Verge cleanup once a year. So it's only once a year here, but same sort of thing. You just get people taking trailers and going from house to house and just taking couches and cupboards.
Yeah.
And
Pretty sweet. Hard to turn down a deal like that.
Well, I mean, I've stocked a house before with that kind of stuff.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Most of my furniture these days is from Craigslist.
See, if you know much about Aussies and cheap Aussies, we used to build milk crate furniture.
Now that, how would that end up actually being comfortable? You staple some cushions to it or something like that?
Oh, you'd put a mattress on top of the milk crates. There's your bed, and then
Gotcha.
for a table, you just chuck a cloth over it and a bit of chipboard, and you're set to go.
Oh, dude, people coming after my own heart. That's fucking. I'm right in line with that.
But I have just done a sound check while we were chatting away. I'd like to welcome back to stage and back to Grape, DD80 and Brick from Zoolana. I had a look at the date today, November 11. You guys came by last. That was the better part of 6 weeks ago. Crypto goes absolutely nuts in that kind of time. Do you want to say hello, DD and Brick? Introduce yourself to stage for the people that haven't seen you before.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm DD. Thank you, Barndog. We are the co-founders of Zoolana, and we've been working on this project since August of this year, and excited to speak more.
Yep, another co-founder here, and pretty much excited to be here. Excited that Barndog, you're excited about the project, and that everyone here is here to learn a little bit more. So it's always cool to see the community support.
Yeah, so that's absolutely I'm keen as. So for people that don't know anything about Zoolana, I've got a deep dive, plus we've got previous AMAs on my YouTube. So I don't know that I'll link that, but you can just click on my icon and get the address from there for my YouTube. But you're building a real-time strategy game for mobile, and it is going to be for Apple and Android. Real-time strategy based similar to, is it War and Glory? Is that the other version of the game? But Command and Conquer is the
Command and Conquer is a classic example from PC. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like what Barndog said, maybe a TLDR. Zoolana is a blockchain-enabled mobile 4X real-time strategy game. We're using very, very similar game baseline mechanics as games such as Clash of Clans, War and Order, Infinity Kingdoms, Rise of Kingdoms, where people will build up their settlement, and then attack other people, come back to the base, farm, go and attack again. So that's like sort of the core gameplay loop. And our edge is, as these games are all very asset heavy. They will be earning in-game assets that will then be tradable on the Solana blockchain. One point to take note: you mentioned iPhone and Android. As of right now, we're just shooting for Android because iPhone's not, the Apple Store is not the best. It's not the best friend with blockchain. So we'll see how it goes. So right now it's just for Android.
Yeah, you do hear that fairly often. Apple normally lags behind the Android. I think most people can understand. It is a little bit hard to get onto iOS, but the aim will still be to have it on both platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. If possible, if they ever lighten up their regulations or the onboarding process, we're all for it.
So last time you came in, we talked heavily about a whole lot of the information we had at hand. Since then, obviously, we've had the Alpha Red, and I definitely want to talk about the Alpha Red minting stage, and also the version 2 of the white paper. I've got all the links for people in stage. You can see a whole heap of links in the live questions channel. There's a lot of really good information there to read specifically from the white paper. It's a well set out white paper. I did have a second read of it this afternoon just to make sure I was ready to go. There's lots of new information from the previous one as well, and I'd like to touch over some of those points because there's extra information now about more gameplay, which is cool. Obviously, the game still has to be built, but you guys are starting to flesh out a lot more of what you want in the game, so that's promising. But I guess the biggest information really to talk about would be the Alpha Red. You guys have minted gone and chosen a product that's not a buy flip mentality NFT. much like a few other projects. We've got Zoe in stage here, which is awesome to see another developer in the audience. And they also went out with a one for Chainmyth, which wasn't really a buy flip, and it sort of hurt them early. But obviously, they had a successful mint last week. So, do you want to touch on the Alpha Red, DD, and give us the 411 on that?
Yeah, so we had our Alpha Red mint on, I think exactly a month ago. And, the vision is to take Alpha Mint to become, Zoolana's most premium NFT. And with that in context, that didn't change. And in fact, we've added an additional utility, where we're rewarding tokens to those who hold the NFT. And, you know, we hope that we can sell more, but reality seems to differ. So in terms of strategy, we are strategizing behind based off of the money that we've got in order to get this project moving.
Yeah, so I mean, the Alpha Red was key to be the main fundraising for you guys to obviously get the ball rolling and get the production company. You've got a massive production company behind you. We'll talk a little bit about them as well. So it was good to see. What I like seeing about projects that have struggled to mint is them going back to their supporters and making it as decentralized as we can see. So you guys put a vote with 3 options in your Discord, in the Zoolana Discord. Do you want to talk about the 3 votes and how close were the votes and the options behind those?
For sure. So pretty much what we posed to people was we were asking members of the community and people who had become stakeholders in Zoolana through buying the Alpha Red. We were asking them how would they want us to handle our mint strategy in terms of wrapping up the mint for Alpha Red. So for anyone who doesn't know the story, we opened up Alpha Red minting and we had quite a bit of success from our community and from the Zoolana community. Everyone was very excited about it, but it didn't really pick up in the zeitgeist as a whole, and the minting chats in the various different interspersed Solana communities weren't as keen on it as our community was. So from there, we had a frantic week setting up for launch, and then of course another frantic week after. In the 12 hours following our release and seeing that there was a number left to mint, of course the community always wants to know what devs are going to do about that because there's some questions there. So we came up with a plan after mint. We had a 5-point action plan. And part of that action plan was leaving Alpha Red open. We're going to leave minting open for as long as it takes for another strategy to develop. So we weren't going to rush and be hasty about it and listen to those people that were saying, you need to close mint immediately because I want to flip this thing. Instead, we did what's best for the project, which means what's best for everyone at the end of the day, because if the project doesn't exist, your NFT doesn't exist. And we left minting open. And that brought up this question of, okay, well, minting is going to be open until when? So that is what we actually brought to the community and let the community vote on. So the community had the decision to close voting, I believe it was December 31st or January 15th, or to leave it open indefinitely. And DD, correct me if I'm wrong about
30th of December, January 15, and indefinitely.
And I can understand the community sentiment there. So sentiment was pretty much people voted for the 30th of December, and then half as many people voted for each of the other options. So the other options were still fairly popular, closing it on the 15th or leaving it open indefinitely. But the community voice was pretty clear that they wanted the mint to end by the end of the month. So moving on from then, we thought about it a little bit, thought about the best way to move forward, and we came up with this burn strategy. So what we're actually doing, for anyone that's listening right now, is we are burning between now and the end of the month. We started about a week ago, 360 of the Alpha Reds that have yet to be minted every day. And these are 360 of the NFTs that are no longer going to be available for purchase. And pretty much what's going to happen is minting is picked up over the past week. And as we go forward, mint is actually going to close as of today, maybe like the 29th, or actually it would be the 28th, I think, instead of the 30th. So as people
Of December. Sorry, that's December, is it?
yes, precisely, of December. And that's because we have the minting going on as well as the extra daily burn. So the actual day that the last day you'll be able to buy an alpha red is still up in the air. Because if minting picks up, it could end even sooner than that.
Yeah, there's a whole lot that was like, I don't understand the sentiment. So this is I'm super inquisitive with a whole lot of these, because I bought one with the mint with everybody else. I got in on the alpha. I think I used the early mint access. I got the first 200 Zani token, for example, title. And then when you guys released the tokenomics side of it, which I've linked it for people to have a read on, but I bought an additional 2, and that was one of your reactions to giving people extra tokens, and that was absolutely amazing. I did a video on it on the tokenomics paper. But what is the need to close off the mint? This is the part that I'm struggling to understand. Why do we want to close off a mint?
So yeah, that's a good question. One of the reasons that people want to close off, so here's a degenerate take. A degenerate wants to close off the mint because they want to sell their NFTs. And why can't they sell their NFTs if the mint is ongoing? Because when you have a secondary market open, with the mint open as well, it can lead to some strategy differences, kind of, because now there's 2 different markets from where you can get NFTs. So a best case scenario is NFTs trade above mint price, and anyone that lists on the secondary market, they can list the NFT they have. Maybe the monkeys get really expensive, so people are selling monkeys above mint, and they're happy, and we're still minting. That sounds like an okay scenario. But another scenario is that everyone or a bunch of people didn't do their research before getting in. They all of a sudden decide they just want to dump their NFTs and get out. It totally ruins the mint itself if all of a sudden the secondary market is listing a bunch of NFTs for 1.5 when we're minting them for 2 SOL. So there's kind of an unhealthy dynamic that can open up between the secondary market and the mint. And you want to make sure that you have one going or the other. And if there are projects that are doing both, we'd love to hear how they're doing it. But from our perspective, it seemed really difficult to actually have a healthy market environment where both are open at the same time. So part of the impetus for people saying, hey, you need to close off mint, is that they want to be able to go sell their NFT on Solana and go flip it. And it's hard for them to go flip it if other people can come to us and buy it for 2 SOL.
But this is where, like, I can understand that in a standard flip mentality of a system, but you guys advertised from the beginning it wasn't a flippable project. You did so much project growth. You went amongst the other communities. You had a great link up with Kaiju cards. I know Zoe from Chainmyth. We did you guys did a joint space with them. There was good partnerships along the way if they were found to be good for both teams. And it wasn't a flipping project anyway. Then you guys linked out the tokenomics, which was, if you guys hold for the 10 snapshots, you're then going to be getting 70,000 coins at half a cent each, and potentially make your money back just in-game currency. So we knew from the beginning, and that was weird. I voted for just leave it open. I'd love to see, I use the term a lot, bums in seats. I think you would want to, at some stage in 3 months' time, if someone just saw Zoolana has finally kicked off production and they're 3 months through and they're ahead of schedule, then people might be bullish on that and then have a chance to purchase that ground floor. So people that bought originally, of course, they still get the maximized out of the token drop, which is how you guys did it, and that was amazing. But it was weird. Sergeant Savage is saying the same thing. Like, he voted for leaving it open. I'm always a fan of researching the product. Obviously, I'll get you guys on stage. I try to put as much research out as I can for the community. And then seeing people wanting to close off the mint, I thought, was there a cost involved with leaving mints open? Does it cost developers and teams money?
No, it doesn't cost any money actually to leave it open. Nope.
Yeah, it was definitely something I wanted to touch on, because it's you guys were very real last time you came on stage, and I think crowds love that. I personally love that. If a developers are real to us, everyone's going to trouble. We're early in gaming. We're early in blockchain gaming. Solana gaming is, just starting to heat up, and all of these utilities and things along the way. We've got to learn our process.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
one other thing that maybe keeps some people from closing off the thing early is also one thing you got to take notice, because we've got all these airdrops that are slated in Q1, be it the previous airdrop that we did, the law NFT airdrop, the PFP airdrop that we're gonna do next, the character airdrops, the token airdrops, and all of that. As time goes by, you would sort of the value and the utility of the alpha red NFT comes from holding it early. And if let's say 3 months later, you being the one who bought 3 months early, have all these NFTs in your wallet, you've got to think of the perspective of the minter 3 months later as well. So we listen to the community and we feel like, yeah, that could work for us. That could work for us as well in terms of strategy. So we thought, why not just close it off and let Alpha Red NFT be like the super exclusive club that you can only be come close at 30th of December or even earlier.
No, it's good, and that's why I just had to get the question out there, because it confused me. I'm happy that you guys are asking your community and that they're voting and taking an active position in it, and it's decentralized. That's as good as it gets. Like, people have had their say and we have to accept it, but question along the way. So there's a couple of things you mentioned there, because I'd love to get into post alpha red, I should say, but the comic NFT drop was your first law drop. Do you guys want to talk about that one? How successful that was?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Yeah. So we actually commissioned our comic NFT, our very first law NFT, from a very talented artist, and we think that he did a great job. We had our own in-house designer design the comic NFT actually, and we just loved it. In terms of the law NFTs moving forward, we are listening. We've seen some ideas in the ideas and features channel where people are saying, if you collect all of the law NFTs, you could then burn them, and maybe we could send them a real life comic book. We are taking all of
I love that.
Yeah, dude. We are taking all of this into consideration, and why not?
So, have you seen Project Alloon's their Eye of Eloraya? Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I did. I'm actually a mentor of Project Alloon, and I received that.
Yeah, that's really cool. This is the amazing things. I like the fact that you've got community out there. I'm just trying to actually on the side get my comic list out. I like the idea of just all of those kinds of things, because Sergeant Savage and we spoke about this, about the LCD at the start, and we were both very jealous and wanted one. But the teaser edition fires was selling for like 5-6 Solana. It's like, oh, is it going to be worth $1,000? Like, I really want that LCD sitting on behind me, especially as a collector of these kinds of things. But it's like, oh shit. So have they gone out now to the lucky fellas that got the teasers?
So we just collected the addresses last week. Part of what's going on with the logistics here is that we have to ship them out ourselves individually, and I am actually away from home for the next week. So people should probably expect them maybe in the middle of January, because what's going to happen is we're going to ship them to my personal address pretty much, and then I'm going to be individually labeling all these screens to send them out to everyone internationally. So those haven't gone out quite yet, but they will mid-January.
No, it's awesome. And from Sergeant Savage, I know it's been asked before, but does the comic have any game utility, or is it just purely just that law NFT?
No game utility right now, I think, for the lore drops. It's hard because for us, like, we have high standards for what our product is and like what we're actually delivering to people. And to come up with really valuable forms of utility and really valuable forms of like use, like, we don't really want to half-ass anything. So if the comic is going to have utility in game, we want it to be sweet and we want it to be special and cool. So it's going to be hard to do that for every lore NFT that we release, and we have to recognize that now, that you could end up with like 15 different lore pieces from the world of Zoolana by the end of this year, and that's hard. It's going to be difficult for us to implement utility for each one of those in game. So at the moment, I think people should just consider them to be collector's pieces, because they definitely are, and we're putting tons of time into making them as like polished and beautiful as we can. But I don't get your hopes up about being able to turn them into a spear in game or something like that, because that's not where our focus is necessarily with the lore.
No, it's good. Like I've said my piece in one of the chats in the channel. You guys want to build a game which has got clans and guilds and people joining each other, and you've got to have lore behind a game. Like you've got to have a history, and I love it. As a traditional gamer, you want to see some kind of lore brought into games, and it doesn't always have to be about, can I make money off this? Can I turn it into a spear, for example? But no, it's a good answer.
Yeah, dude, the lore is like. So for me, I have a degree in fiction writing. I've been a reader, an enormous reader my whole life, super deep into fantasy and any kind of imaginative world. And for me, any game that I step into that doesn't give me an explanation for why the world exists, where am I, what am I doing here, if I don't have that as a base level of understanding of where I am in this imaginative space, then I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, it just doesn't feel like it places anywhere for me, and it just feels really random. Of course, there's exceptions to that. Anyone who knows the game 2048, it's a very simple, like, little math game. Of course, you don't need lore for some super simple games. But if I'm asking you to play with a cast of characters and to become a character yourself in this world that has all these unique elements going on, I want some understanding of what that world looks like and how that world got there. So that's kind of our thinking with the lore behind Zoolana is we want people to be immersed, and we want people to feel like they're actually in this real place that exists, because it does. To us, the Zoolana Valley is a real place. And yeah, I mean, the lore NFTs are an awesome opportunity to be able to do that, because it's like any collectible that you've ever had, except for now we can distribute them for free, and you can have them forever. So
yeah, the power of Solana, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
So is that off that meme where the guy's in the shrink office and he's asking him other characters in the room with you now?
Yes, dude. Yes, precisely. The stories that we have like, there's intricate webs of connections starting from some of the characters that we've introduced in the Alpha Edition. Like, I believe we introduced this character Salem, who is this like ultra wealthy rhino that you see in the Rhino NFT stepping out from the waterfall. Kenai is a character. These characters have really intricate connections in the world, and it's just one of the most exciting things for me is thinking about these stories that we're putting together. So, yeah, it's going to be really awesome to share those via the lore NFTs going forward.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. I love it. And you can hear the enthusiasm in yourself talking about it. I'll link out a post for the King for Salem. But while we're still on minting, then we're looking at closing the 27th, 28th, somewhere around there, the Alpha Red. I've noticed you guys are tweeting a whole lot about the buildings. Is that the next on the chopping block? Is that the next kind of mints that you're looking at?
No, these are actually our in-game assets. So, for example, like Clash of Clans, you are building your barracks, you're building your town halls. So we're releasing how these buildings will actually look like within Zoolana.
I see. So it is just filling out the world. It's getting more understanding of how you guys, because you do put on there. I think concept art gets linked a fair bit. Like it is a concept.
Yeah, exactly. This is just the first iteration.
So what is next then? Once the Alpha Red is fully done and dusted, what do we look at next? Are you guys going to have a look at the Alpha Blue? Is that the next consideration?
Yeah. So touching a little bit more on Alpha Blue, people have been people have been giving some, suggestions in terms of changing the Alpha Blue, the design of it, maybe add some collectability to it. That is on the chopping block, and we have been working on it. So a few other things are going on concurrently, but Alpha Blue is just one of them. Do expect more information to be put out about Alpha Blue over the coming days, because uh, the design of it is finalized, and we're ready to share it over the coming days.
So when you say the design of it, are we looking at different characters altogether? So that the 5 original characters: the bear, the tiger, monkey, rhino, and elephant. Are they going to be completely different ones?
No, not really. There's not enough time of the day to be building out the other characters just yet. So we are redesigning the NFT itself to add some collectability to it. We're adding one more trait to the metadata and
We're
one more
changing
perk.
the visuals a little bit. So just to clarify expectations, we have not gone back to totally redesign the NFT itself. Like DD's saying, there just isn't enough time in the day, especially with the other stuff we need to push forward regarding game development, to literally remake the NFT. So it's going to be generally recognizable to some of the earlier things we've shared regarding the Alpha Blue. In fact, if everyone goes over to live questions and you go to GIF, if you just search Zoolana, our awesome community member, I think it was Jeff, actually imported all the GIFs for the Alpha editions into the GIF engine that Discord uses. So that blue NFT, that blue Alpha, is generally what the actual blue Alpha mint is going to look like. We've added some rarity elements though, and the rarity elements are going to change the visuals a little bit in our design right now. So we've gone back to the chopping block in terms of redesigning the collectability around it, because Barndog, as you know, there was a number of collectability elements in the different characters and in the different pieces of flavor text, but people really want to feel, people really in the NFT and crypto space, they love the feeling of gambling. Like, let's not dismiss the fact that that's a huge element of what's going on when people go to mint. So we've added some rarity mechanics that you'll recognize from our teaser edition mint. And these rarity mechanics will have some small impact on what you actually get as a reward from the blue alpha. We're confident that everyone minting a blue alpha is going to be happy they minted. But if you manage to mint one of the really rare ones, you're going to get a little bit of a sweeter deal out of it.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. I like it.
What are you thinking?
It.
What's your reaction?
My reaction is, do I feel like I've potentially missed out by minting the reds? So I've minted the reds with going for the collectability, but if you've got a chance to turn one Solana into 300, you know what I mean? Like, it's very funny. I like it. I like that you guys are adapting to it. You have to, don't you? Obviously, the red didn't sell out, so you need to change up the plan. I want the game to go ahead. Yeah. That for me is the ultimate prize,
for sure,
regardless.
Absolutely.
So
one thing to take note
is Solana, is that. Sorry, go ahead, DD.
Right. Yeah, one thing to take note is you should never feel like you're missing out, because Alpha Red is always going to be more valuable than Alpha Blue.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming from we know what the implementations are for the rarity design. Even the most rare one does not come close to the value of the alpha red. So
always take the red pill. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I don't want to don't record. That has a lot of interpretations. I will say, as far as Zoolana goes, the red pill is gonna get you much further than the blue. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, and is that coming in at 1 Solana for the blue? Is that still the price impact?
Yes, that's still what we're thinking. And the value add is going to be almost identical to what we've expressed previously about the blue, except there's also going to be varying amounts of tokens involved. So that might give you a clue about how rarity is going to have an impact.
Yeah, it makes sense. That does make sense. And do you want to talk a little bit about, then, while we've got it here, the utility that Blue will actually give the people buying it? Because there will be new people looking at this video. So if they buy themselves a Blue Alpha, because Alpha Blue, I should say, because they're 1 Solana, that's their level they want to spend. What are they going to get holding this NFT?
Yeah. So, excuse me. What they're going to get. They're going to get a Zanis profile picture airdrop to them. So this is a profile picture that you would imagine a generative PFP from one of the 5 species. We're going to have profile pictures for all 5 species, and you're going to get a profile picture airdrop to you from holding the Alpha Blue. You're going to get an airdrop of all the lore and narrative NFTs going forward, and you're going to get pre-sale access alongside Alpha Red users to the mints that we have upcoming for our 3D characters, or in-game characters, and our in-game weapons and armor, as well as some skins and cosmetics and stuff. So there's a few other perks on top of that, but the biggest drop of a profile picture, as well as ongoing airdrops of the lore and narrative NFTs from our world, and then pre-sale access to other mints going forward. And then tokens on top of that. The tokens, we don't want to share dollar values around the tokens quite yet, because we're still making sure that things make sense as far as the rarities go. But blue holders will also be getting an allocation of tokens. Not quite as much as the Alpha Red, of course, given the different price point, but they should still be excited about the fact they're getting some tokens.
Absolutely. It also means even if you're not planning on flipping them, it's going to give you something to start in the game with. So there's a couple of questions. Let's touch on the tokens, because I do have questions tying into it. Coping's linked a couple. I think they're coming from the Zoolana AMA channel. You guys have set aside 600 million tokens based at 70,000 per Alpha Red. How are you? Is that going to be still sitting at 70,000 capped per Alpha Red? Or are they going to now receive a large portion, seeing as you're burning some of the Alpha Reds?
Yeah, go ahead, DD.
Yeah, in terms of allocation, it will not change. We still are inside the design of it. We still are allocating 70,000 tokens per NFT. The remaining unallocated tokens, we still are, talking about it, and we will release an updated white paper for the tokenomics.
Yeah, because the white paper does actually state that there are leftovers will go to the Alpha Red holders currently.
Yeah, in terms of people who missed the snapshot, that will not change. Any excess tokens due to the NFTs getting listed, they will be equally airdropped to Alpha NFT holders at the 3rd month mark, if I'm not wrong, after the IDO.
So just to touch on the snapshots, there was 10. The first one has been, hasn't it?
So no, we're actually, the snapshots have been delayed because the mint has not yet closed. So we're actually, token snapshots are going to start once mint has been totally closed. And we're thinking that what we're going to tell people is the week of the snapshot. So it's going to be every other week is going to be a snapshot week, and pretty much you want to make sure that you're not listing during that week, because that's when we're going to be doing a token snapshot. And so for anyone listening, those have not started yet. They'll start once minting has finished.
And another question regarding the tokenomics, that is good to know. So the first snapshot hasn't been taken, and then if you buy one Alpha Red and you mint now, you're still eligible for the full 10 snapshots. Lots of play to earn projects normally have 2 types of tokens, one for governance and another for in-game. For you guys, you've only got the one linked, but reading the white paper today makes me think different. What is the benefit for that, and why did the team decide to only have one token?
In terms of the token design by itself, we do know that a lot of projects out there have 2 tokens, but there are some other projects out there, like for example Gods Unchained, which have only 1 token by itself. The design of it is pretty much, controlling one currency is much better than controlling 2 currencies. That's the main core benefit of that. So, in terms of the burn schedules, in terms of the unlock schedules, in terms of the amount of tokens that we can then allocate to play and earn, are much easier to control with 1 token.
I noticed in the white paper today there was a discussion of shards. I haven't seen that before, so that's to do with leveling up your you take your characters and you want to take them above maximum level. So are shards going to be like a secondary type of game currency?
Yeah. So the idea with shards is that those are going to be kind of what you're putting into your character um to level them up in terms of their rarity. And by rarity, what we mean, rarity is like this tier system that we have in the game that refers to like your character's maximum level and certain special features that they have access to. So when you start the game, you're going to have a free character. We're a free to play game, but your character is going to be at a common rarity, which means that you can't actually export that as an in game asset yet. In order to export it, it has to be at a rare rarity or higher. And to get there, you'll use Zanis shards as well as combining characters of that same rarity. So Zanis shards are going to be an in-game currency that level up your character in power, and you're going to get those from a variety of different places. Yeah.
And things like, I think, if you want to respec your character, you use the shards as well.
Yep. Respecking your character, you'll use your shards. This was let me pull up the shards place actually to figure out, because we had a few different designs in place. I'm not sure actually what was it that we ended up publishing.
The way
Is
I
it
kind of figured that to me felt like a secondary coin. In effect, shards. If you're using it, it's going to be a utility token in effect, and people
yeah,
trade.
that's a good way to think about it. There's other games out there that have this system of, we want to be able to give you character specific rewards. So how do we do that? We give you tokens specifically related to that character. So this is kind of our version of that feature. And yeah, so we should expect a few other kinds of soft currencies to be introduced in the game, because that's just how RTS games work. Like, when you're collecting resources, you won't be collecting Zanny tokens, you're going to be collecting gold, or you're going to be collecting stone or metal. There's probably going to be a few more resources introduced into the game just to make the game function as a whole. But as far as premium currencies go, the token is the premium currency. And you can convert that token into these shards or whatever it might be that you need to actually do what you're looking to do in the game.
Sergeant Savage, I'd say like gems in Clash, not really the potions
Yes.
as much, because you use gems to buy potions and use those in a battle.
Exactly like gems. Yeah, we should expect that comparison to be accurate for tokens.
Let's go through then a little bit of the gameplay mechanics are starting to come out with the white paper. So there was actually quite a fair bit in the white paper. One of the really big things I noticed was you guys talking about introducing potential mini games, other games linking up and utilizing the Zoolana SDK.
Yeah, that's further along towards the development timeline. So you should expect that in 2023.
I like it. That's good, and that is actually a good answer. Don't expect it anytime soon, but it means you guys are trying to plan out to keep your open options and having other projects be able to join up with you guys, potentially do mini games. Or do you think there might be some guilds that go a bit hardcore and introduce their own bits and pieces in game?
Yeah, most definitely. Games like Clash of Clans, games like Rise of Kingdoms, guilds and clans plays a huge part into the game, and that's what the design of Zulana is about as well. So in terms of the mechanics of enabling these guilds and clans to further into the game, in terms of be it development, be it the kind of things that they want to do in Zulana, we will give them much more room to play with.
I guess then some of the other bits and pieces, I might just mention some of that trickled through information to me, was you talked a lot more about the clans. Exactly what you're saying there, you're going to be empowering the clans. So you talked about troop donation, kind of like your clan castles, but that's going to give in-game benefits to the people that are actually donating troops to their guild members.
Yeah. One thing to take note of is as we do want it to be as clan centric as possible. So one thing to take note is, for example, you go to a battle, right? Let's say you choose to attack this guy and you're marching towards this guy, and while you're marching, you can, if okay, before you even attack the guy, you can then talk to your clan members. Hey, I want to attack this guy, but I'm not strong enough. Anybody can help me, and you guys can attack people together. And likewise for the other side, if they are getting attacked, they can then request assistance from their clan members as well.
So is that going to be like Emperor in Magic the Gathering?
Emperor. Are we
So
talking
how
about
you've got 3 versus 3, and you can only march 2 difference away from you. You can only reach so far with your troops.
Whoa, what are we? This is a Magic mode with an actual game board?
So it's just a 3-on-3 format in Magic, and you can only reach 2 distances away. So an Emperor can't attack an Emperor, and then he has 2 generals, one sitting on each side of him.
To be
that's
honest,
fascinating. I'm a huge Magic player. I've never even heard of that. I'm not sure the system will be similar, but now I'm looking that up because that sounds like a lot of fun.
It was just a good form of having a bigger battle, but obviously
sure.
you could only, your troops could only go so far so quickly. When one person was eliminated, then obviously the table was opened up, but you couldn't then attack. Emperors couldn't direct each other. So I'm guessing in Zoolana, would you have a similar system where if you are marching into battle, maybe you've got 5 people going against 5 people, you can only then stretch your troops out so far?
Honestly,
I'm sure you might age with that bit of information. We played Emperor back in the late 90s.
It sounds pretty sweet. I bet you there will be similarities, but I'm not totally sure about implementation as far as the comparisons go. I think donating troops is going to be that's going to be a given, and being able to share resources is going to be one of the biggest benefits to being in a clan, alongside some other big things. But yeah, as far as clan game modes go, I don't know, DD, do you want to speak to that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I think we've shared that even in the first white paper. So, clan game modes, there will be things like, for example, clan PvPs that are going to be free for all. Actually, it's not going to be like you choose a clan to go PvP with, but it's more like, okay, the event is on, attack as much as you want, and then we'll just calculate the kill points from there. So, for example, you can then choose to bubble up all of your clan members during a certain time frame, so you guys don't lose out. You can then organize attacks at a certain time frame on other clans to rack up your kill points, things like that.
No, that's awesome. That is, and you have talked more about doing things like specific clan crafting, and even there was going to be like extra clan perks.
Yeah. So for clan crafting, we're thinking, the crafting system will be within the clan. So if you do not join a clan, you can't craft equipment. So that's one thing to add value and utility towards all these clans being set up. In terms of clan perks, they will have some sort of bonuses that will then get given to them if they're in a clan. For example, if let's say this clan is a farming clan, this clan choose to go towards the farming route, then they would level up their farming resources. For example, they started off with, okay, if you join my clan, you get 1% extra on farm resources, and then they can then level that path up using their clan resources, and go wherever they want.
Yeah, so like more of a trading clan, and other clans that might give them a little bit of leeway and leave them be in peace because they're trading off them more.
Yeah, exactly. These kind of games, what's fascinating about Zulana is the kind of ideas that we've taken from all these games, these forex strategy games, is there are always players for every type. Some people might like to attack more, some people like to farm more, some people, there's all types of players in these games, and with that, you gotta give enough room for these kind of players to kind of play what they want.
Yeah, absolutely, completely agree. Not everyone likes to go charging into a battle and have conflict and all that kind of stuff. Some people just like to casually log in and do their farm for the day and log out.
Exactly.
So, talking on that little point, you're going to have in-game bonuses. There's going to be daily quests. I love daily quests. It's an old saying for me as a WoW player. If you don't do your dailies, you're a day behind. And my mate still rib me about it 15 years later.
Yeah, most definitely. In terms of all of these are actually retention gameplays design. So daily quests, weekly quests, or even monthly quests. These will be within the design of the game itself.
Yeah, even some of your major game loops are based around monthly and bi-monthly quests, aren't they? With the clan battles and then the inter-clan battles.
Yeah, exactly.
We've touched on tokenomics a little bit. We haven't gone in depth into tokenomics per se. We've talked about getting them through owning the alphas and now the blues. That was information for me tonight. That's awesome. The IDO, is that still looking at coming out sometime around April?
In terms of strategy wise, that's what we're still planning for, and it's still within timeline. Yes.
So if you're you're a couple of weeks behind on your first alpha snapshot, that's cool. That means it might just push it back towards the end of April at the earliest. Then you're thinking.
Yeah. So in terms of snapshot, if we have to accommodate having lesser snapshots, for example, we do 8 snapshots instead. That's gonna be what's the design is gonna be. If let's say we do IDO in April.
I like it. I like that you haven't rushed the IDO because like obviously you needed the NFT to sell out to pay your developers, and games have to be produced. Teams need money to produce games, but you had no utility for a token or a coin, so you just haven't rushed it. So not coming out in April wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah, we totally agree with that. So one thing to take note, we're not rushing anything. We're taking our time to do it properly because we want this to be a long term game that survives through either the bull or bear market, because that's just the way crypto goes. There will be bull markets, there will be bear markets, but we're in this for the long term. So to make a project that stays, you got to make a damn good project that people will play even in the bear market.
Yeah, gaming, I guess, is a little bit different for markets because, people still game during a bull or a bear market. It doesn't matter, like you're still going to log in daily. If you're in a system where you log in daily to do your daily quests or your weekly, your monthlies, all those kinds of things, you're still going to log in and play, aren't you?
Exactly. And one thing that we want to touch on is, a lot of games out there, these play to earn games, they're targeting crypto native people. Their target audience is crypto native people that are familiar with blockchain, and they want to onboard these people to play their games in order to earn money or tokens. Well, for us, I'm gonna say right off the bat that our target audience is not the crypto native people. We're targeting all the people that are outside of crypto, as well as in the same time, if let's say they are interested in crypto and blockchain, that's good. They have a base understanding. But if not, we're gonna try to design the game as seamless as possible. So you don't even know the blockchain is running behind it. You just know you're playing the game.
So going deeper into that, does that mean you're going to have your own inbuilt wallets created to go, simplicity for these non-natives?
Most definitely, we're looking into that. But with Phantom Wallet coming out saying they're gonna be on mobile, we would assume they're gonna make it as seamless as possible. If that's not gonna be the case, in-game wallet is something up in the development timeline.
Yeah, that's right. Because Phantom was, slated to be out in this quarter, potentially quarter one of next year. So you guys are set regardless, aren't you?
Exactly.
So, a bit more on demographics. You guys are chasing more of a Southeast Asian type of demographic, aren't you?
Yeah, through the research that we've done, the biggest players for forex strategy games came from Southeast Asia or Asia Pacific to be general. And these includes countries like China, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, Indonesia, Philippines, so on and so forth. China being the biggest market, so that's where we're really locking our eyes.
Is it hard to develop for a Chinese culture, a cliche? Like you hear about all the dramas and all of that with the media and stuff. What about making games? Is there a bit more complicated doing it for China?
In terms of making the games for China, I mean, are you talking about artwork asset, or are you talking about regulatory concerns?
More regulatory, I guess.
Yeah, so far we have not seen any speed bumps up inside our timeline, but that's not to say these things won't pop up out of nowhere, where these issues would then become a hurdle that we would then need to cross over or either change our strategy towards other countries. But there are plenty of countries that we can target. China is just one of them, and it will not be a make or break.
Yeah, it's awesome. No, I think that's a smart ploy. I like how you're talking. Basically, you're saying is you want to create a good game. You want to create a AAA game. That's why you've hired a AAA game studio and even artists behind it. Is bringing a good game and people are going to flock to it.
Exactly. Making games fun first and then blockchain later is what Zoolana is doing.
So, what's your plans for Q1 of 2022?
So for Q1 2022, timeline is still there. We're not missing anything. Everything is still moving along. Game production is slated to start at Q1. That's still up. And what else? The PFP airdrop is still in Q1. What else? Yeah,
Was
just
it weapons and armor? I think possibly coming out in Q1.
Weapons
Yeah,
and
so
armor. Yeah.
we're
Go ahead.
the weapons and armor are under construction along with the character models. We're hoping for release in Q1, absolutely in March. Yeah, so those are on the table.
I guess, I mean, we're coming up to 52 minutes. We've almost done an hour. Anyone that's got any questions from the crowd, please put your hand up. I always love taking questions or write them in the live questions, which is just above the public stage. We'll always try and get the devs off their toes and keep them honest. But I've been excited following you guys, obviously, from a long time. I've done several videos and stuff. I did want to have a special mention. Chris Anon was in the stage, and I think Candyman was in. I can't see where he is at the moment, but these are a couple of guys that helped me. Oh, no, he's still there. Helped me trade for some different Zanis in guilds. So, you guys have a really good system of people backing you. From what I see, there's over 12,500 in the Discord. I don't see where the maths kind of go with 2,600 alphas crafted on those numbers. Do you know what I mean? That's a 1 in 6, is it? 1 in 5.
Mm-hmm.
About a 1 in 5. So have you got numbers behind how many wallets are holding the alpha reds?
I think Coping has that, if I'm not wrong. We're not tracking the amount of wallets. But we do know that there are some whales out there that are holding, a huge amount of alpha red NFTs because they believe in us. Like, So Big Brain he's a huge supporter of Zoolana. He loves us. He likes what we're doing, and he owns. Oh, dude, he owns so many.
Is he
many.
Is he the biggest whale out there?
Yeah, I think he is. If I'm not wrong, that's like 2 weeks back. He is the biggest wallet then.
Yeah, I think we had him at probably holding over 70.
Yeah, wow, that's huge. It is in effect though its own form of VC investor. In effect, it is a VC investment because you've now put out that tokenomics, the 70,000 coins. So you can just see it from there. Plus, they're going to be getting all the NFTs along on the road that they could potentially sell down track as well. So, what about? I guess a question I don't know whether I asked last time. Have you spoken to any of the guilds for sponsorship, sponsors, and all that kind of stuff? Are guilds looking interested at potentially buying up big packets of Zanis?
I think we're 3 months too early to be having these conversations with the guilds. That's where we are right now.
I just kind of thought that the guilds would be able to purchase, say, 100 Zanis, and then they know they've got them, and come April they're going to have a form of payment by getting the coins only. So do you know what I mean? Like, I just figured it would be a potential chance for guilds to step in.
Honestly, one of the biggest guilds like in the space right now is like we've been having serious conversations with like an investment group that's formed out of the guild in terms of them being like a private investor, but we've been making a short. What we've been doing is we've cast a wide net. We have an Excel spreadsheet full of launch pads and guilds and like these private investment groups that we would be interested in working with. But it's just too early for us to really be making like it's too early for us to be forming those actual connections just because the game development needs to be a little further along. The in-game assets need to be a little further along. Like these are developments that are going to be built in like 3 months, like DD said, rather than like this week or something like that. But we see the value there too. Like you're saying, it seems like a natural partnership between guilds and Zoolana, and we totally agree. We think those are going to be some of our biggest partnerships.
Yeah.
Come pretty soon.
And don't get us wrong. We are having intro calls with them. We're just telling them that we're not ready yet. So when we are ready, we'll hit them up again. And they seem excited. We're happy about it. So yeah.
I guess at the same time, the fallback is the Blues. The Alpha Blues are going to have some form of tokens as well, so it just wraps it down to a different choice.
In terms of onboarding them.
There'll still be a token allocation for the Blues, as you're saying. So guilds that are thinking not now at 2, they might have a look in at 1 per Alpha Blue.
Not really. In terms of the intro calls that we've been doing, we're telling them to, we're gonna update them as we go along further into development, and we'll talk further when that happens. That's where we are right now.
No, that's cool. We don't have any questions from the stage. We're nearing on that hour. Did you have anything you wanted to touch on? I know, actually, sorry, we haven't talked about your Christmas giveaway. You've got 5 NFTs going out, and that's got about 10 hours left on it. So that link is in the live questions. DD linked that up for us there. Fill in. There's the usual suspects of going on, clicking, following, having a look through their white papers for extra entries into winning. So that's 5 NFTs you're giving away, which is super awesome. Any extra points you want to touch on, DD?
Not really. I think we pretty much covered that within the past hour on what we've been up to.
And Brick, how about you? Have we got any extra from yourself?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think we're talking about the things we're excited about, and I think everyone should just be stay tuned. We're gonna have some really incredible developments over the next 6 months, and it's gonna pick up pace really quickly for us. So to everyone that's had faith in us so far, I think thank you, and your time to shine will come soon. We're gonna be in a pretty awesome spot in the coming months.
Oh, it's good. It's it's awesome. I mean, games take time to be built. That's what we've got to always hold on to. Games don't just come straight out of the woodworks unless they've been producing for 4 years off chain and then try and switch it around and come on chain. So, one of the premier mobile games building, and like I've said before, I'm an old Clash of Clans addict, and I just cannot wait. I want a Clash of Clans styled game on blockchain.
Awesome, dude. So are we.
Oh yeah.
Big War and Order player. Excited to be playing my own game.
Yeah, what happens there? Are we going to have some insider teams? Have you guys from the leadership group pick teams?
I'm in Luna, so Brick is in Nor.
My boy,
Yeah.
see, Brick's in. That's me, Nor. You took the Colosseum, did you?
Absolutely, yeah. We're gonna be blasting our laser guns, swinging around lightsabers.
Sergeant Savage took Nora as well. He's just saying that.
Luna's gonna crush you guys. So chill out.
And that's every 2 months we get to actually go into clan. So is that going to be like a 1v1v1 type situation?
No, like I said previously, it's gonna be a free for all. So clans gotta really communicate within them.
Yeah, I like it. No, that's awesome. I appreciate you guys coming back. 5-6 weeks ago, I was keen to talk about the mint. We had a good juicy topic on that. It does really intrigue me in Solana and watching people wanting to flip and seeing the process. And there's been some successful and some struggling ones this month specifically as well. So it's super early in gaming, super early in Solana gaming. But I think we're going to have a nice, healthy 2022. And I look forward to seeing how you guys go with your blue mint and progression from there.
Awesome, dude. Thank you for having us. Very excited too.
Yeah, thank you, Barndog.
No, my pleasure, lads. We will wrap it up there. We've gone just smack on the hour. I appreciate everybody coming in. I think I've got one more AMA for the week, but I haven't had a lockdown time. But it's Christmas. So for all those people that are actually here, I'll take a screenshot. Let me take a screenshot. I hadn't planned to do this, but I've got a screenshot there. I'll get a random number generator so you can check the channel back. I'll close it off, but I've got some. What have I got? I've got some bit spawn, some SPWN coins sitting in the Solana gaming bank, and I'll do a rollout for 5,000. So I wanted to give these away for a long time. They're Bitspawn's building a protocol and a project where they're going to be linking in games and stuff. But yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. DD80 Brick, I hope you guys have a good Christmas as well.
Thank you, man. Happy holidays as well.
Yeah, thanks, Barndog.
All right, we'll close the stage down there and thank your mother for the rabbits.
Cheers, man. Talk soon.